الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Good evening everyone. My name is Walid Al-Araynan, manager of the Research and Studies Center here at the Eastern Province Chamber of Commerce, الشرقية Chamber. On behalf of the Chamber, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests from the Young President Organization and from leading corporations and other organizations. I would also like to extend a special thanks to Mr. Salman Al-Jishi, for board member of الشرقية Chamber, for his leadership and effort in organizing this event, and to our guest speaker this evening, Dr. Tawfiq Al-Rabi'a, Director General of the Saudi Industrial Property Authority. Before we begin, I'd just like to say a few words about the الشرقية Chamber. الشرقية Chamber was established in 1952. Since then, it has achieved significant milestones in its support to the local business community, as well as in its contribution to the overall economic development of the country in general and the Eastern Province in particular. As an indication of such achievements, there has been significant growth in its membership base, from only 19 members in 1952 to nearly 40,000 today. The Chamber has also expanded its presence in other cities to serve the large geographic footprint it covers and its increasing membership base. As of today, the Chamber has 4 branches and 11 full-service centers strategically located in major cities around the Eastern Province, which is an important part of the country in terms of its economic significance and size. As for its position among other chambers in the kingdom, الشرقية Chamber is one of the 3 largest among 25 chambers of commerce and industry in the kingdom, the other 2 being in Riyadh and Jeddah. Its board of directors is comprised of 18 members, including the chairman and 2 vice chairmen, and 12 out of those 18 members are elected through a direct voting process by chamber members, and the remaining 6 are appointed by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry for a 4-year term. The chamber is currently nearing the completion of its 15th term for its current board of directors, with elections for the next term due to take place next week. Just to give you a quick overview of our agenda for this evening, we'll first begin with a welcome speech by Mr. Khalid Al Abdel Karim, board member of الشرقية Chamber. That will be followed by a presentation by Dr. Tawfiq Al-Rabi'a, Director General of Mudun. After that, we will be showing you a 10-minute video produced by the Chamber about the Eastern Province, highlighting its competitive advantages, as well as the key role that the Chamber plays in enhancing and promoting investment in the region. We then conclude with dinner that will be hosted outside the lobby. I'd like now to invite Mr. Khalid Al Abdel Karim for his welcome speech.
I would like to say something before Khalid. He's a closer friend. We allowed him today to give a speech. He's not going to the election. Anybody going to the election, we didn't allow him to come.
My name is Khalid Al Abdel Karim, and it's a pleasure to have all of these young, bright businessmen in our Chamber of Commerce. We believe YPOs is a platform for key executives of various business agencies and organizations to do their networking and exchanging their views. And the YPOs is an important organization which connects the world's most successful young businessmen in a global business networking with a mission: better leaders through education and exchanging ideas. Wanted to also give you a local, our local setup for young businessmen in the old ways, before oil, before the transportation cars at the camel days. Maybe take some of that ideas with you while you're searching for better ways to continue to progress. Young businessmen, when they reach of age, 16, 18, 14, 18, 20, whatever they reach maturity, the trading families in the communities and the neighbors and the relatives we'll set up the gentleman with a couple of camels, so he can go from one village to the other or from one area. Probably takes a week
Thank you,
of
Mr.
travel.
Khalid. I'd like now to invite Dr. Tawfiq Al-Rabi'a for his presentation.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I really appreciate your visit to the kingdom, and I hope you will have a very enjoyable time. Since we are talking about the young presidents, I assume everybody here is in his 20s, right? I looked at the website of YPO and I was really impressed. I always hear about YPO, and Salman is always talking to me about the events and the great events that are taking place. But when I read about what's in the website, I was really impressed with the activities that is done by YPO. And luckily, I'm still below 45, which means... No, I promised to apply. So I'll be honored to be among this group. As I said, I'm lucky that I'm still below 55. So I promise that I'll apply, and I hope I will be accepted to be a member of the group. Today, I'll talk about my experience with the Saudi Industrial Property Authority, abbreviated as MUDUN, which is in charge of the development of industrial estates. I joined the organization, hold on. Okay. So we're talking about the development of industrial estates, the challenges and the opportunities that we can have. As I mentioned, the organization called Saudi Industrial Property Authority, and it's abbreviated by MUDUN. MUDUN is a Saudi public organization established in November of 2001. And the major objective of MUDUN is to develop industrial estates and also support the development of industrial estate by the private sector. So it acts as a developer, and on the other side also acts as a regulator of private development of industrial estates. The industrial estate development was started early in the 1970s by the Ministry of Industries at that time. So initially they started with 2 industrial cities, one in Riyadh and one in Dammam, and then there was huge growth between 75 and 1990. And from 1990 to 2000, there was a small growth, but within that time, that was due to the slowness of the economy. MUDUN was created early in 2001 to be more of a self-funded and to not to be dependent on the government for to get support for having infrastructure, and to be more flexible organization. So currently we have 14 industrial estates throughout the kingdom. We have about 2,500 factories, which accounts for about like 60% of manufacturing companies in the kingdom. We have in these industrial cities 300,000 plus workers, and an investment of that exceeds 200 billion Saudi riyals. So it's a huge asset, a huge development. It has major contribution to the economy of Saudi Arabia. So many of the products that we use on a daily basis and we see them around are coming from our industrial cities. So the challenge here, as I mentioned, I joined in 2007, about two and a half years ago. So the challenge here is to be self-funded and provide industrial lands at a very low rate. I'm talking about 1 riyal per square meter, which is very low. And